Yo, what's up? Thanks for joining us today. You're going to get the real. Because remember, if it ain't the real, then what you working with? As always, baby, we in the man cave, living it up, feeling good. To my left, we got my man Ego.
What's up?
Aye.
How are you? You feel me?
I'm going to skip over somebody we got special, back to back for y'all. I ain't think we had that in store, did y'all? And corner holding it down, as always, President Press.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
And esteemed guest number 2. Oh, we got some shit for y'all tonight, baby. You ain't even know. But listen, I'm going to make sure he gets introduced the right way. Lenny, a.k.a. Uncle Bitcoin. If you didn't know, we're going to get into that real quick. You know what I'm saying? My man went to Temple, graduated, cherry in the white, baby. Dual degree in finance and international business. Worked at Wells Fargo, Vanguard, and numerous other banks and institutions under his account. Works currently in pension and retirement services. And of course, he was one of the first to split us game on Bitcoin. Hence the name Uncle Bitcoin. That's the man right there. Guest of honor, baby. Guest of honor. So today's episode, we're going to give you something that we really wanted to do for a long time. It's really hit home on a key fundamental aspect of what it's like living in America and trying to survive. It's your finance game, right? It's your mentality around finances. It's how well you have that relationship with them. It's systems you got in place. And we got somebody right now that perfectly's phone went off at the right time to let us know that this nigga is here. Anyway,
it's
listen.
All right. It's all good.
It's perfect. Listen, because it's real shit. We don't bullshit. We here to give y'all the real shit. But I say that to say we got Mandy Hour in the building to support that conversation. I'm excited about it because I know how big finances were for me in 2019. So to have somebody in-house that has that degree in it, that has that background, has that experience, has worked in the different settings with finances, man, that's just one of the topics, but it's one I'm excited about. So if y'all don't know, and y'all ain't never did this before, bust you out a pen and paper, take some motherfucking notes. All right. Boom. Without further ado, fellas, how y'all feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
You good? We alive? We wide awake?
Feeling great.
Okay. My man drinking on some shit. We got the red cups. My man over here. Listen, this is the first time we got the little purple tray out here, so y'all see how we get things done. Well, they get things done. I don't smoke. But it is. Each his own, baby. Each his own.
I'm a little behind today. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, we're going to give y'all the real. You already know that we smoke on the show. You know what I'm saying? So while we're having our discussion, what we like to do. My man's just going to get the business done.
Correct.
But as far as like how I'm feeling, man,
what's up?
I gotta, we can try to get into this topic right here, but I gotta give credit to him because this is my uncle, everybody.
Okay.
But he's actually the first person that actually got me into investing.
Okay.
And the most important thing about that is because once he started telling me about bro, you got to start investing in these types of stocks, you got to start doing these types of things with your money. The one thing that I realized was, a lot of black people aren't doing this. Which kind of leads into what Eric was telling us about how CJ, if you want to throw the graphic up there, how the average what was it?
The average black
wealth gap.
Wealth. I mean, it was net worth.
Right.
The average net worth of the average Caucasian family was 140,000, and the average net worth
107,000, and the average black family net worth is 17.5.
So it's 10 times less, right?
So that kind of leads me to my first question that I want to ask you. Do you have any idea or inkling based off of your understanding with finances, why that is? Like how we even gotten to that point where that disparity does exist? Is there racial implications on it? Is it of a lack of education? Is it a combination of both? What's your opinion on that?
It's a combination. It's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. Well, you go ahead.
Well, thanks for having me. First of all,
Of course.
Always.
yeah, it's a combination of everything. I mean, the system, of course. But rather than focus on time with the system is a system. I think people overlook what they can do themselves and the power that they have themselves to fight the system or whatever it's up against. The market being up, the market being down, good economies, bad economies, certain principles and certain behaviors with money help people in the long term regardless of circumstances.
Yeah, man. That's a
I had to actually answer all the questions.
right.
Yeah, so I guess with that, just try to give us a very simple answer to it, but it's why is it as like a black community we just don't know these things? You know, it's 2021. You know, we have the internet.
Yep.
You know, we have television. We have the stock channels. We have Fox Business. We have certain websites we can go to. You know, we had the whole Robinhood situation going. So there's avenues for African Americans to start doing things with their money. Why do you think we're either hesitant or we're just ignorant to it?
Mainly because I think the rules of money and the acquisition of wealth usually taught in the home. It's not taught in school. And if your parents haven't acquired any wealth or been able to keep any wealth or give you a house because they paid off their house, then you weren't able to learn that behavior at home. Same way with health, right? A lot of people on health, like diabetes, it runs in a family because a lot of people have the same bad eating habits, bad health habits in the same family.
Right.
Same thing happens with money. If your parents were renting, your grandmother was renting, you probably have the goal of renting.
Right.
That makes sense.
And not that renting is always bad, but at the same time, you're probably not looking at it. If you think acquiring material wealth, material things, cars, clothes, jewelry, is
the wrong
wealth.
values are being taught.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. The wrong values are being
ignorance,
taught. You know, I hang out with some of my friends, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, nobody here. Nobody here. But you know, I just have certain friends and they be like, yo man, I want them new Gucci shoes. I want them new Louis Vuitton belts. Like that stuff right there, that stuff right there, that doesn't increase that value of that what you're buying does not increase at all. That once you buy it, that shit is not worth what you bought it once you walk out of the store.
Appreciation.
Like, that appreciation is ruined. People always got their minds on the wrong things. I want Gucci. I want Louis Vuitton. I want Prada. I want Fendi. You don't need all that stuff. Once again, that stuff is useless after you buy it. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. Like the wrong values are being taught to our children. We're taught to them. We're teaching them. I don't even want to say we because I'm not teaching my kids that. But like
as a black and brown.
Exactly. But as a black and brown community, you know, we are teaching our kids, you know, the objects, the materialistic things that we have are what actually shows, you know, oh, he got money because he got on those $250 Jordans.
Right.
He got money because he got on that Louis Vuitton belt. Yeah. And then they sag in half their pants off. They're just isn't that defeats the purpose what a belt is for. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, the wrong values are being taught to our children, you know, and this is exactly why the average black family, you know, it has a net worth of $17,000. I can honestly, if I wanted to, I could touch 17,000 in 1 month. You know, if you go out and grind, you can touch 17,000 in 1 month. You can touch 17,000 in 1 month. Anybody in this room can touch 17,000 in 1 month. Well, and it's crazy that's exactly the net worth of a black family.
I think
1 month's worth.
Look behind that though. There's a lot of things. I don't know what Lenny you were about to say, but I know if you looked at it, it breaks it down like, okay, so what was the net worth? What does the net worth include, right? It's if a black household member and a white household member both make the same income, their net worths are different based on what is their expenses that they have, right? The fucking bullshit that depreciates, right? Mm-hmm. The fucking cars that you want to buy to depreciate, or the house that you're still whatever. And then the white family is like, okay, well, what did you inherit? What other royalties have you got brought into? Even though you make the same amount of income, your net worth is substantially different because of the prior legacy that is left.
Well, how my man say it from Baby Boy? He said what he said. He said you got your guns and butter. Baby. You got your guns and butter, baby. He straight said. Right. You know, he say you go at your cars, clothes, jewelry, all that other bullshit. And it don't mean shit after you buy it.
Exactly.
Like it don't mean shit after you buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting fact too that I also read from the paper, right? The disparity happens once you get past, I think, the 20% up. So the lowest 20% between black, whites, and all nationalities are basically the same net worth. Mm-hmm. And then once you hit a certain percent of income, then the shit changes dramatically, right? So very super low class individuals are all basically the same between low, you know, black, white, brown. But once you start getting also in age, and also obviously as you look for actual income, shit starts growing exponentially. So I think that's something to look at too. That the only thing we're in the same category is if we're both broke as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Also, we spend more money. So
Yeah.
what's funny is we spend more money
than we make.
on average.
Yeah.
So even in Philadelphia, the minority spend 55% of the money in the city.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
shit.
I
The
saw.
people that don't have money spend the most money.
I forget the
Yeah.
exact. I
I'm
forget
spending
the.
shit that you don't have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this subject.
No, hey, bro, I get it too. We're all in the same.
It's corny.
We're all in the same boat about it. We all learn from the same type of ideals.
Yeah.
I did see this one statistic one time where it was like the average African American holds on to $100 for like 8 hours.
What'd you do with it? Spend that shit immediately, cuz? That's
What
crazy.
I'm saying. Like,
Absolutely.
it was the average African American holds on to $100 for 8 hours, and then I'm definitely grossly exaggerating the numbers on here, but I'm definitely in the ballpark somewhere. And then it was for like an Indian family. It was like a month.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it was.
Yeah.
And it was like for a Caucasian family, it was a couple months.
Yeah.
Because I think one thing, and it's the hardest thing to understand, because you only know what you know, right? Like, if you keep swimming inside the same 4 meters, you don't know if you're inside of a pool or the ocean.
Right.
Because you keep swimming in that same amount of water, right? It's the same type of thinking when it comes to African Americans, when it comes to the money that we spend. We don't really know the true concept of what an actual dollar is and what a dollar can do.
Correct.
One of the things that you told me before, actually, to teach the concept of money and like the difference between like spending just to spend and spending to invest, right? Let's say that you bought one T-shirt from H&M a month, and that T-shirt was $30, right? So you bought a $30 T-shirt every single month. You spent $360 on T-shirts.
Okay.
The only thing that you got back in return off that $360 that you spent is 12 T-shirts, right?
Okay.
Now, if you could have had enough self-control, right? Enough self-control to say, hey, you know what? I got other clothes in my closet. I don't really need these additional 12 T-shirts, even though they're in style, even though this is what everybody else is doing. I don't really need that. And you took that same $30 and you bought a stock of AT&T, right? That's 12 shares of AT&T. That's 50 cents that they're giving you for every share that you own.
Yeah.
That's $6 for nothing.
And what do you get from AT&T?
They're paying you 50 cents per each share that you own.
Per quarter.
Per quarter. Yep. So yeah, they pay you dividends 4 times a year,
Right.
in the amount of 50 cents. And somebody who doesn't understand the concept of investing, they're like, well, why would I want 50 cents for that share, right? Until you train your mind to say, well, I'm gonna keep buying $30. I'm gonna keep buying one share of AT&T until my dividend is enough to buy that share of AT&T. Right. So now that initial $360 that you put in, or whatever that you put in, eventually you're going to get to a point where what you're already making off of that is being compounded back into buying more,
right.
And then you're making more off of that.
That's right.
So it's like your original dollar is growing into an actual money tree. You know what I mean? But we don't think that way. We think, oh, I need to spend my money on this because this T-shirt is what $30 actually is worth in value. But in reality, it's not worth anything at all.
Right.
So I think the biggest, thing that, and I want to get everybody's opinion on it, right? I want to get everybody's opinion. Don't be afraid to talk. But you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to talk on here, bro. We want to give everybody the real. It is what it is.
Let's get it.
One concept that needs to be discussed is what is money and why are we slaves to it? You know what I mean? Like, why are we? I feel like whether it was the school that you grew up in, that you learned in, or the household that you grew up in, we are subconsciously being taught the same lessons of you gotta work in order to, you gotta work physically to get money. We never learn how to use our money to work for us.
That's what Lenny was saying. It's not passed down, right? There's some shit that,
That's basically
stumble the fuck across and like be like, oh, I gotta teach this to all my niggas, and I feel like that's just now happening, essentially.
A lot of ways, because of the internet and information is out there, the democratization of information, that's definitely affecting it, and a lot of people are speaking about it more. Doesn't matter how much people speak about it, doesn't matter how much people talk about it. Like, one of the things that I think black people need to learn most of all, or not just black people, people of any class that aren't acquiring money, is the value of money with time. So like what he was saying, a share of AT&T, $2. It's not financial advice, it's just an example. But they pay $2.04 per share, right? They're about $29 a share. That's an asset that pays you. That's 4 times a year. That's 40 times over 10 years. Ultimately, people need to buy stuff that pays them money versus things that cost them money.
Yeah.
A car costs you money to maintain. It costs you money to keep. You do get the utility out of it. It's an economic plus. I'm not saying that, but jewelry, the extra TV in your house, the extra iPad, that costs. It brings some comfort or it brings some benefit, but usually it costs, and it costs over the long haul. And the same person will look at $29 from AT&T and $2 a year, which I looked at it the same thing. It's $2 a year. It's not shit. Yeah. It's not shit. It's not really worth talking about it. But ultimately, $2 a year every year.
Right.
We gotta lose though.
You got to think bigger than that. It's $2 each time. $2 each time.
$2 each time.
Warren Buffett he bought his first share in Coca-Cola at 12 years old. His last dividend payment was $16 million. So it was like somewhere along the line, right? He started, and his first dividend payment was like 20 cents. Right. So if you just count it, and if you look at money for what it is right now, and you only can see money for what it is right now and what it could do for you right now, you missed the biggest value, the biggest portion of its value. Money's value is tied with time. That's why your job pays you in time. That's why you look to make money over time. So money, because even the glob of money, like you could get $1 million right now, but ultimately if you don't have no way to replenish that, and you're not living within those means, you'll need $1 million more. And that's why you see lottery people always need money. That's why you see people that made millions of dollars athletes, and they can end up being bankrupt.
T.O. went broke.
Because the thing is you can always spend money. Like I'll tell you right now, I'm not necessarily all the way a professional at making money. Like I still have things to learn. I'm a professional at spending money, and most people are. You know what I mean? Like
If I walk out the house, I feel like I spent $100.
You know,
so for sure.
We all got 1,000 ways to spend money, and we all got people we love that spend it for us.
You know.
So, and what we all don't have is enough money or enough things paying us. So even if you got 100 shares in AT&T, you know, paying you that $200 a year, that's something that you're waking up for. That's $200 next year you're waking up for. You don't have to work for. And that's ultimately where we need to get to. The more money you don't have to work for, the less you have to work with time.
We're not taught these values at a young age, and it's crazy because, you know, growing up, you know, if your parents or your grandmother, whoever it was, they gave you $1, gave you $2, gave you $5. What was the first thing you did? You ran to the corner store.
Yeah.
You went right to the corner store.
I get about
you know what I'm saying?
Huggy,
The bag of chips with the wrappers on them.
Right.
25 cents. Okay.
But you know what we should have had growing up was that person, was that uncle. We should have had that person that should have grabbed you. Right. We should have had that person that stopped us right before we went out the door and goes like this. How can you turn that $5 I just gave to you? How you going to turn that into $10?
That's
how
important.
Are you right?
That's
like,
important.
You have to ask these questions, and I believe that I'm going to incorporate that when my kids ask me for money. I'm gonna give it to you, but now my question is to you now. The money that I just gave to you, how are you going to double it?
Right.
What are you going to do to make more money so you don't even have to ask me for shit?
So
you can look back on my life and be like, my dad wasn't successful, but I was, because he taught me the values. You know, sometimes it's not about giving your kids money or giving them a house that you bought or giving them a car that you bought. Sometimes the most important thing that you could teach your kid is the value of something. The value of $1. Now, I believe that this is a circus that we're in, of a world when it comes down to money, because we spend it, we earn it. We spend it, we earn it. We spend it, we earn it. So I believe it's a circus. But at the end of the day, it's a circus that we have to participate in. And since we have to participate in it, you might as well learn the value of it. Because I'm not working in a circus unless you tell me how much money I'm making. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, learn the values, teach the values, and understand them, and get it out to your kids so they can actually be better than what we were. Because me, even though I want my kids to be better, because I struggled growing up. It wasn't easy.
Talk to them.
You know what I'm saying? So therefore, and you know, I could probably say the same thing for everybody at this table. It wasn't easy growing up. You know what I'm saying? We all have disadvantages and we all have certain advantages. But at the end of the day, you got to realize what they are, overachieve them, and at the end of the day, learn your values.
You know, true story, bro. I was actually kind of proud. It was a proud moment as a parent. So my mother, my daughter's grandmother, gives her $20, right? And she tells me, she's like, "Hey, Dad, Grandma just gave me $20, right?" So first thing I tell her is save it. Now, the value in that is I love my parents to death. They never told me to save the money when I got
Never.
it. They were like, "You might as well go on and get this thing while you
I
at
don't
it."
even think save was in my family's vocabulary.
Nope, that word
Shit, still was. Nigga, I thought it was in the savings account. Go back next day where my money at.
So
10 years old, that gets going.
couple days goes by. My daughter, she's hanging out with her grandmother, and my grandmother goes and says, she was like, "Leah, don't you like?" They were at the store or something. She was like, "Didn't I just give you some money the other day? Use that." And I love my daughter because what she says out of her mouth is, "But Daddy told me to save it."
Right.
So she saved it.
Right.
My nigga, you teaching the values. You're teaching the values.
You know what I'm saying?
You're teaching the values.
And she's 9 years old, bro. Now,
9.
And it's $20 to her is probably a lot of money in her mind, right? $20 is probably a lot in her mind.
Yeah.
And now she doesn't even know, she doesn't even know why. She doesn't understand why I told her to save it, right? She doesn't understand why her mother and I are doing certain things with money. She doesn't get it, and I don't expect her to. She's 9 years old. But when she's 18, and she says, "Wow, I remember my parents told me this at 9. I ain't get it then, but now I can pay for college in cash."
Yeah. Did you give your daughter an allowance? No. Okay.
I buy my daughter stocks.
Now I'll tell you.
Right. I'm not trying to put you on blast. I was just
No,
asking.
I'm gonna tell you what I do. I buy my daughter stocks.
Correct. All right. I was just
Because
asking.
listen. I don't want her thinking that and I want to say this clearly.
I knew this answer. That's why I asked you.
Right. I don't want her thinking that she has to do certain physical actions to receive money.
Right.
I don't want her thinking that she has to use her body in any way,
Work.
shape, or form. Okay. Right.
Work.
Physical labor of any degree. Right. I don't want her thinking that she has to do that for money. I want her thinking, what can I do with this money so it can do things for me?
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here that never worked a day in their life that made a lot more money than people that work for 80 years or 40
We
years.
work with like
True.
9 to 5 labor and shit. What you about to say?
Well, I wouldn't just mention what he said about the circus and money being a circus. In a lot of ways, like I think one of the things that most people don't understand about money is it's, and not to get deep or crazy, but
Nah, get deep. Don't be
Nah,
scared.
we here, dog.
Get
I
deep.
mean,
money's
that's what we're here
energy. You know,
Money's energy?
Like
Okay.
everybody's talking about, I'm getting up, I'm chasing that bag, I'm
Right.
chasing that bag, and it's like, well, like what he was talking about. The person that thinks about making a system or thinks about an idea that can help someone or a problem that can serve a community,
Right.
they're coming up with something that attracts money. They don't have to chase it. Like good ideas don't chase money.
Right.
Money chase good ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, people that
That was
work
deep.
hard.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Like-
That's a bar. Can you repeat that?
Right.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah,
Hit it again. Hit it again.
like good ideas, like money chases good ideas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like money, there's people out there with money looking for things to invest it in.
Right.
Things that are good, things that are going to help people, things that are going to bring back return on investment. And if it's a good idea, it's going to bring back a return on investment. So you have plenty of people and plenty of money. I mean, that's what Shark Tank is. Just on the Shark Tank, on the stage, right? There's almost $100 million at access to everybody here.
What Shark Tank? I know a lot of our viewers probably don't even know what Shark Tank is.
No, just Shark Tank, the TV show on TV. I'm not bigging them up, but the Shark Tank show, the
Yeah,
people go
people
in there,
go
they pitch an
do that
idea.
shit.
Right. Okay.
Those people, they're getting paid to be on the show, but ultimately they're on the show. The main on the show to find an idea,
Right.
find a product or find a service that's worth investing in that can make them more money with the money that they have.
Fact.
They're constantly looking for more aggressive ways to bring back a return on the money that they have. That's why they're rich.
That's basically what the stock market is, though, right?
That
In
stock,
a grand scheme, I mean, on a much larger scale, that's pretty much what the whole concept is for those that are listening that really don't understand what the stock market is. The reason why, like, you will put money into a certain company is because you believe that it has potential. And the thing that they're missing is the capital. That's where the investments come into play because that helps them grow. So to Lenny's point, that's why if you're not investing, that's what the true value of it is. So it's like, imagine like, for I forget, because I was young. Amazon started as a book company, right? It was just Jeff Bezos saying, hey, you know, instead of going to Barnes and Noble, go on the new .com area, go to this website and get that book that you want, right? Who I don't even know. Do you know what their IPO was?
Oh, it had to be $33 something. It was
Right.
below $5.
Listen,
I
and,
mean, it's.
and they're probably
Something stupid.
and the crazy thing is they're trading at like over $3,000 a day.
I mean, there's millions of dollars being made on the stock market every single day. And the stock market is one vehicle. I mean, investing in treasuries, investing in bearer bonds, having a term life insurance or whole life insurance.
What is
Money is constantly losing value. I mean, I love the stimulus. I know everybody wants the minimum wage to go up. The stimulus talks is great. Money's
You don't want it
constantly
to?
losing value.
You don't want the minimum wage to go up?
It's only going to hurt inflation. We have inflation now.
Right.
Increase minimum wage.
Right.
Turn it
Everything
into
else
hyperinflation.
increases.
Can you
You already
explain-
see that. You already see gas $3.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
inflation is too many dollars
Is that
chasing too
inflation
many
or is that
goods.
demand?
No, that's inflation.
that's
Okay.
inflation.
Inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods. There's nothing happened to the supply of oil in the last year. Nothing. The supply of oil, the production of oil, all of that is steady.
Just more
There's
opportunity to buy
nothing
it.
really happening to the demand for oil. There's not no real spike, no big population growth, and no new cars. In fact, people are driving Teslas. So why is the price of oil going up? Price of oil is going up because the money supply is expanding. The money supply expanding decreases the value of the money.
You know
and
what
it increases the value of assets.
It's facts, man.
Liabilities are going to go down in price. Assets will increase.
And you know what the scariest thing is, and I don't think a lot of people in real time are thinking about it. It was definitely a blessing to all the families that were able to benefit from in a short scheme of things. You got to pay your bills, so it was a blessing to families to receive some of the aid that they received from the government, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was through unemployment, whether it was through PUA, regardless, whatever it was, a lot of people benefited from it, and I'm happy for people that did. But my fear is this, just like we said a little bit ago, if you touch more money, you're just going to end up spending more money if you don't have the discipline to do the correct things with your money. So my fear is there's a lot of people that came up, and all those people did was take that money and put it right back into the billion-dollar corporations.
Right.
And because of that, prices did rise. And at some point, those payments are going to stop. Corporations aren't going to pay you as much as what the government was giving you. But those prices are going to stay high because we put it on that pedestal because we were just taking this money that was being printed and putting it into those corporations.
And then it goes to like certain basics of like economics. I'll explain real quick. Like we didn't there just more oranges didn't grow in Florida last year. Like the same number of oranges grew. So like you could throw another $1 billion in the economy, but there's only so many oranges. There's only so many apples. There was only so many cows to make so many steaks. So you could throw in $2 billion to make everybody feel happy, but there's still only so many Delmonico steaks. And the price of Delmonico steaks is going to go up. So throw in $3 billion. What we're going to do is have $100 steaks at the grocery store.
I want to ask you a question. I want to.
All right,
This,
got me thinking shit.
this is the type of question. This question fucks me up. And I want to hear both of y'all answers on it, just y'all two. What is money? Like, what is it?
Oh man, what you want? You want to talk this first? All right, so money.
Yeah, what is money?
All right, so to me, actually, I really agree with what you said about money being energy. Lenny, I was actually waiting to comment on that. Money, I feel like, is opportunity for me. Money is opportunity. It holds a certain value that we assign it. It can work for us, it can work against us, again, based on the holders it come from. If we decided today that instead of money being the trade, we're going to trade fucking carpet. Carpet's going to be, a square foot of carpet is going to be worth $1. It's going to be worth this, and this. So we just assign money the value that, because we agreed on it. The other point is, I feel like, I know I'm not really going to answer your question anymore, but abundance mentality versus like scarcity, right? So if you feel like there's always lack of money, lack of something, I have to chase it, right? Versus like it's abundant, it's everywhere. Like you said, there's millions and millions of dollars getting exchanged in the stock market every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's out there. There's plenty of money. They can print more. There's a lot in circulation. If you have that mentality that if the money's out there, then I have an opportunity to receive it. I have an opportunity to do what I want for it. Versus there's lack of or less than. I hear my grandma talk about this shit all the time. I love you. I hear other friends talk about it like, oh, you know, I ain't got enough money. Like, nah, I gotta think like this. Like, I gotta hold on to it, but not holding on to it because I'm gonna do something with it from a scarcity mentality.
Okay.
Right? Versus talking about learning and getting taught. Like you said, you learned a lot from your uncle. White people learn a lot from their family.
Right.
Nobody just picked up a book and was like, hey, Dad, I'm gonna fucking... No white kid from the fucking 1700s was like, yo, Dad, I picked up this book and I'm deciding to start investing in shit. Nah, he got taught, little Jimmy, take this nickel and go do something. Like, you give your daughter $20. Right. So I feel like that's I'm kind of circling back because I had some shit to add. But to answer your question, that was my answer, if you remember what I said.
All right, I'm going somewhere with it, but I want to get Eric's answer.
The intellect,
first.
man, he's got some shit.
It's because the only reason is because it's a subject that I feel strongly about. To me, in my personal opinion, and I might get a little deep for y'all, but whatever. I believe money is a fabrication. We are forced to believe that this piece of paper holds value, and we need it to survive, and we need it to do everything else. Mm-hmm. And I believe when it comes down to that, it's kind of like, you know, like a kid when you grow up and they want you to believe in Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? They want you to believe that this great thing exists. You know, this great person that just goes around to every fucking house every year and drops down your chimney and just gives you free shit. It sounds good, but it ain't like that. It sounds good, but it ain't like that. But it's just like that because we all are still believing in Santa Claus when it comes down to money.
Okay.
Because honestly, before these times, you know, it was gold. That holds the value. Gold is the real question. Like, so at the end of the day, it's like, put it like this, gold is stocks, right? And paper, money is just air. You know what I'm saying? And some of us can't breathe. And it's crazy because we are forced to believe this. Now, understand, it's just the way the world works. It's all it is. It's just the way the world works. So we have to get money. You know what I'm saying? We have to, because that's what we are forced to believe. You know what I'm saying? That is what holds value. But stocks is where it's at. Because at the end of the day, stocks, once again, is what? Gold. Because gold is what's more valuable than money. So to me, money is just a fabrication. We all are forced to believe this fake ass piece of paper is with a president on it. Because you gotta understand this. Money is also evil. If you have money, you can get off for murder these days. OJ. You gotta think about that shit.
Ray Lewis.
Money, like all that shit, you're forced to believe this shit. That's what money can do for you. That's what money is forced to. Like, more than you can get off for murder with
can
money.
You on the flip side too, like you can change people's lives.
You can change people's lives.
Akon went to Africa and fucking built like 600.
Correct. You know what I'm saying? And because we are forced to believe we need money to do these great things.
You know,
like, and that's the point to me. We don't need money to do great things.
I agree with that for sure.
And that's why, to me, it's a fucking fabrication. I need I need money to live, to have a house over my head. Because guess what? I'm going to show you how much money means to everybody. If you just pick a wild field, you know what I'm saying? Just go to any field, public property, build a house. Who's coming to see you the next day when you build that house?
Uncle Sam.
Uncle fucking Sam. Right. They want something for their land because you built something on that shit. Yeah. I can't just go and build a house. I started this shit from scratch. Yeah. Now I gotta pay you to keep it here? Yeah. That's some bullshit. Money is a fucking fabrication. And yeah, money buys us great things though, so, you know, live it up. But understand, you know, live it up. I'm not hating on nobody. It's not like I'm a broke nigga, because I'm not. But at the end of the day, we are forced to believe this shit. And we're just all believing in Santa Claus right now. That's all it is.
Right, where were you going?
It's the circle game. It's all it is. Circle. You're going in circles.
Yeah.
He got this one-liner, watch.
Nah. Nah, that's why he's my nigga, bro, because I was gonna go that same direction. That's why you my nigga, bro. And the reason why I would say that there's two reasons, right? There's two reasons. To me, money is definitely fake. It's not even a belief, it's just an actual reality. When you actually, take your opinions aside and you just look at it at face value, what it is, it's fucking fake. The first time that I learned that money was fake and it really didn't mean shit was in the movie Titanic. Real shit. Anybody that ever saw the movie Titanic, when the boat started to, when the boat broke in half, right, and it was starting to sink and all of that shit, the one dude tried to get a boy money for space on the boat, right? And he's like, here, I'll give you $1,000. This is like 1910, right? He's like, here's $1,000, right?
$1 million.
Gave this nigga a lot of money just to ensure himself some passage onto a boat, right? Everything starts going bad. There's no more boats left. Dude's like, yo, I just gave you all this money. Where's my boat? Blah, 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 blah. You know what dude does? He just takes that brain, he just throws it right fucking back at him, right? Because he understood that in reality, the certain circumstances that he was in, that shit didn't fucking matter. That money wasn't going to move mountains for him. That money was just an agreed upon exchange of a service, right? So, because the craziest thing is this, right? Think about a bank transfer, right? You got Wells Fargo, I got Citizens Bank.
Yep.
You Zelle me some money, right? Yep. Did Wells Fargo physically give Citizens Bank anything? No. Or did somebody just delete the number 100 and somebody just edited my account and then put another 100 there? Was there any exchange of anything physical?
No, physically not. I don't know how they do shit electronically though. I don't know. Maybe you can give us some insight.
It's a deletion.
Blockchain. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a deletion in one person's system. Okay. It's an addition in another person's system.
It is. Okay. It's a ledger balance.
There's no physical. There's just no physical exchange, bro. Yeah. Money is fake.
Check this out. This is how so much we are in a trance that we are forced to believe one thing. Watch this. My man Lenny, who taught you about stocks? How did you learn? You taught yourself.
Yeah.
We're forced to believe that we have to pay to learn. What happens before you go to college? You can go to a great college, have that shit on your resume. But what did you have to do to go there? We're forced to believe that we have to pay to learn. My man taught himself about stocks. You can learn anything these days by your fucking self. But now we have to pay to learn because that little piece of paper with a degree which says your name on it means so much.
A lot of people just confuse certifications with intelligence. They do that a lot. So, all right, you got it. I'm not saying it's not that people have certifications or they have a degree. They're not intelligent. They definitely are. But
because they had the money.
A lot of people are putting their life on pause to say, well, when I get the money to go to college. And, I mean, life hack right here. You could just go on if you want to go to college and you want to go to school for communications or investment, go to the school you look at, go to the website, look up the syllabus, read the books.
Read the books.
How many niggas watching right now? Like, I could have saved 8.
Read the books.
Listen, I'm a firm believer. So, just to put this out there, I agree with everything being said, but I do believe school, like at least secondary education, is 100% necessary if you're a STEM major. Science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, you need to go to school, you need to learn from a professional, you need to get taught, and you need to be able to regurgitate that shit. Because that's the shit that actually moves society forward, right?
Yeah, that's important.
So,
that's it, though.
But everything else, like a communications degree, why do I gotta have a degree from Villanova to be able to go on ESPN and be able to battle Stephen A. Smith
I go
my sports intellect?
I say one step further. Again, it's like certifications. Like, again, not always four-year degree doesn't always close the deal. A lot of people in certifications. A lot of brothers and sisters came straight out of the military with no degree and no certification, and they got more skills than master's degree kids. Kids coming out with masters. I mean, you went to the military and you did computer engineering. I take that over a kid that just did 4 years with no experience. And that's what happens in corporate America all the time. So they got us believing in certain certifications that they're going to give us certain things. And they're not. We live in a capitalist society where everybody's competing. Everybody wants more of everything. more free time, more money, more luxury, more houses, more time with their family, more time with their kids. And in order to be competitive in a society, you're going to have to invest in yourself. So before we get to investing in stocks or investing in houses or all these other things, biggest thing you should do is be investing in yourself.
That was fire.
Investing in eating, investing in your health, investing in your time, investing in what you do and read, investing in your vocation so
None of
that
that
you
shit
can
matters
earn
if you're
money.
not here.
So we could talk about stocks all day, but if you're not really working towards your passion and earning enough money that you can start progressing in a certain direction, stocks and insurance won't make a difference.
Fuck them Gucci belts.
Nah, but fuck the Gucci belts. And
I mean, a lot of people put more stock into their car. They put more stock into their Lexus or BMW or more stock into their Gucci loafers or their Gucci belt than they do their own health or finances
That's key,
or their
'cause
own children.
Society got you thinking that you got to compete with everybody for your appearance to the world.
yeah, for sure. Yo, I feel like more people put money into keeping a facade alive than they do of actually creating and improving the actual baseline who they are. That to me is crazy. I tweeted this yesterday. I was like, wait a minute. I'm seeing niggas put more money into like looking a certain way and holding it and keeping that image versus really just improving them from a fundamental core level, like a root level.
I'ma keep it a
and
bean,
you said
bro.
it with the health and shit.
I was that type of person, and on some days you catch me on the right day, I might still be that person. It's
No
because
doubt.
because the reality is this because we all grew up that way. Like, but at a certain point in your adulthood, you have to get to a point where it's like you have to understand what is and what isn't working for you internally. And are you really heading in the direction of where you want to go? Are you doing the certain things that you feel as though that you need to be doing? But it's hard getting to that point because, you know, you were conditioned. You know, school pretty much, like K through 12 is nothing but just, you're measured on behaviors.
Babysitting.
Yeah.
Are y'all seen Higher Learning? Any of y'all?
What's that
The movie Higher Learning?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay, all right.
But it's on
Take
game.
some
So that
fucking facts.
But it's on game.
No, it's Omar Epps, you know, John Singleton, 90s movie, like in the school days, you know,
Okay.
Boys in the Hood era. But at the end of that movie, it's about a black kid from Compton, and he goes to college, and kind of like the culture shock and exchange of going to college. Remy, right? Remy's in there. Michael Rappaport plays Remy.
Okay.
Classic
Michael
racist
Rappaport?
white kid in college. Ice Cube's in it and everything. Classic movie. But at the end of the movie,
The reason why they don't want to know this movie.
they put, and John Singleton puts it right before the credits starts. It goes unlearn, relearn. And it's like you said, a lot of the stuff when we come up, one of the things that helped me with my transition biggest was that I had to let go. Most of the stuff that I was taught growing up was just lies.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in gang era Pittsburgh in the 90s, and most of that shit was just lies.
Talk.
You know what I mean? And it was just lies, like the value system, the outlook. It was just lies and bullshit.
When did you wake up to that? When did you like realize that okay, this isn't it?
When I looked at the overall product of it, I got too many friends I call close associates that aren't here. You know what I mean? And way more locked up. And then you see the long term of it. It's been like 15, 20 years, and there's nothing, the good that comes out of it. There is some good. There is some unity and bonding, but it's outweighed by the violence and the shortcomings. And like we could have the same camaraderie and the same family feeling in the same group without the same violence and the same adversary that we have. Like there's a fighting and a bickering in the crews. Like I'm from Pittsburgh where it was going down all the time, so it's hilarious when I see cats in New York doing it now. You know, I find it hilarious because it was like in the same time in the 90s, they thought they were too cool to be worried about gangs or colors. And then now I see kids from New York talking about being Bloods or Crips. You know, it's one thing being country Pittsburgh doing that, but those are like the ignorant things that we condone and we push when there's the same kid trying to figure out, there's some kid trying to hustle at the gas station pumping gas or, you know, trying to sell papers or trying to sell his T-shirts or something, and he gets overlooked, and we give the attention to the wrong stuff.
Sheesh. What you thinking about, man? You good?
I'm good. I'm high.
Oh, okay. You were pondering. I thought you had some questions.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's just like what we value. It's like another one sidebar, but it's all the people that go to Jamaica just to wear the different bathing suits right around the resort. Like they never leave the resort. They never go see the culture. They never learn about the history or the island. They take their kids there and they stunt right at the pool. It's amazing. And the kids could be experiencing another country.
That's why I didn't want to go to one of those places.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely want to go to Jamaica and be immersed in Jamaican culture.
Yeah,
like, I want to eat the shit they eat.
there,
I want to drink the shit they drink. I want to sleep how they sleep. I want to whatever. I want to try to learn some language and shit. Like I want to be immersed in the customs, not stay at a resort all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like one of the things I think we could do for our kids is lessons and experience more than materials and toys.
Yes. Travel, yo. All traveling does is just broaden your concept and horizon of what you think the world actually is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when we went to Barcelona, right? One of the quick things that we realized was, everybody's not even getting their day started until noon.
That shit was crazy.
It's
so hard to understand.
Being up early was like an extinct to them. Like
nobody's outside.
They go out till they don't leave their house to pregame until like 1 a.m. because nothing closes till 6 a.m. And then they sleep through breakfast, and then shit reopens at like 1 p.m.
Bro.
And then that's when you see niggas outside. Like, breakfast isn't even a thing. It doesn't even open. You couldn't go to Wawa to get a breakfast sandwich. They don't make breakfast
What is
sandwiches.
Wawa?
Breakfast don't even, what I'm saying.
Right over there.
And
I'm just saying.
And you know what? Listen, and if I could just be 100% transparent, I contemplated wanting to smoke on this show, right? I contemplated doing it. I was like, then you know what? I was like, man, fuck that. I was in Barcelona. We was in the weed bar just chilling. People were getting off of work, coming in, rolling up their little paper joints with their laptops, getting their emails sent, just chilling, relaxing. People in suits and stuff. Right. And it's like America got their head so far up their ass. You know what I mean? It's just you got to go and see those experiences to know that the way that we go about shit really isn't that big of a fucking deal. We just make it one.
Preach, press.
Right. The other thing about their culture that really shocked me was it was kind of twofold. Because when we first got there, it was 8, 10 black folk, some nigga moments. But as soon as we walked down, we toured the area. Once we got to our hotel, we just walked around the block. But we were talking so loud that people from blocks down like stopped and looked and like, what is that? Like, what's going on? Because we were so boisterous and like about being excited and shit, and we just stuck out like a sore thumb. Yep. But on the flip side of it,
I wasn't with them. I went to go find weed.
He was in a crib.
I went to go find weed.
Doing the Lenny
me and Tracy.
Shit.
Me and Tracy.
What was the flip side, though? What was the flip side?
The flip side was, as we were days in and started seeing our environment and our customs and shit, we started to kind of get a little more incorporated. Yep. But everybody was just so fucking like alive and together and talking about unity and being bonded and shit. It's like it didn't feel like after day like 2, 3, 4, it didn't feel like we were just somewhere else. Of course, the experiences were overwhelming, but it didn't feel like we weren't welcome. Like, people were nice. People were, like, I've never had so many conversations in such a long time and learned so much about a person in a taxi ride.
Yo.
That shit was crazy. Like, giving me the spiel about the walls and, like, all that shit.
Everybody would talk to you.
Yeah, it's insane. It's just like, you're a human being. I'm going to talk to you. It's like custom mindset. Everything's, it was wild.
Some people are so nice over there.
And the pizza was fucking fantastic. Pizza in America is trash.
Trash.
Garbage.
Yo. Trash. Pizza in America is trash. It is 100% trash.
The craziest dynamic that I saw at play, though. Listen, craziest
trash.
Listen,
something new. I gotta go to Barcelona.
Yes,
right. We live in Philadelphia.
You just gotta go to Spain. Period.
Right.
Yeah, just go anywhere.
You go in Spain, you go get the pizza. Just go. Get the pizza.
I'm gonna go see Messi at some point. COVID interrupted it.
Right, yeah, I feel you. Okay.
This shit was crack.
I might go with you, fuck it. Yeah, I might go with you.
I gotta see him before he retires.
Yeah.
Let me just take my drink.
We here, how we had a side shit.
Yeah. But craziest dynamic at play, and I don't know if it relates or not, but you come here to America, you come to one of our cities like Philadelphia, you see nothing but big corporations, you see billboards, you see McDonald's, Burger King, you see all of these chains, you rarely see the mom and pops, right? Yeah. Our dollar ain't shit. You go over to Barcelona, you see nothing but mom and pop spots, no billboards, barely no chains, no companies. We saw one Burger King the whole time,
and it was
Trash.
by our hotel.
Trash.
I guess specifically by our hotel, right?
There's like 3 Burger Kings
Trash.
within 10 miles of here.
You
There was
walked
like
one block and everything immediately changed. The Burger King was literally right there, and then once you left our hotel block, everything was just like, now this is actually Barcelona, actually.
The food
And the
was
euro
amazing.
is worth more
Food
than
was
the
crazy.
American dollar.
Yeah, that shit was a little hard in the
So
pocket.
they had less big business, more valuable currency. We have more big business, less valuable currency. This is, I don't know if it's related. It's just something that, again, when you travel, you notice differences. You know, I love America. I just know it's not the only place.
It's not authentic.
Yeah, there's other places out here. So if there's one thing that you can do.
That's what I'm saying. America is not authentic.
No, that experience was a beautiful fucking experience. And you said it, like, getting out and traveling opens up worlds of possibilities. And we say this a lot on this show, and I can't feel like we say it enough. Because of what opens up. Like, nobody goes and does looking into stocks, looking into investment, looking at how to make money, do me, from an old mentality, from a stagnant mentality. Something about it is requiring change, and you're taking a step outside your comfort zone to pick up a book you thought was maybe intimidating at first, or pick up a book that you thought maybe wasn't related to you, or you weren't a person that it mattered to or could do anything with it. So you like that whole idea, right? Going out and experience. It's in the same grouping of, yo, you know what? I gotta take a step. I gotta do something new. I gotta have this new experience, and I gotta start putting some work into things that that I value. I'm talking about value a lot. So like, and you talk about health and wellness and like the mind and like everything's fucking correlated. If you interview any rich motherfucker and ask him about his life experience or his life day to day, yeah, I make money, yeah, I do this, but the other aspect is I have to make sure I invest in myself from a health standpoint. What am I eating when I put them in my body? What is fueling me? What is my emotional understanding and environment? How am I making sure that I come home to a stress-free environment? How's my relationships? Right? How's my all of that goes into it, and I think that's something that people overlook because, it's not. I guess it's not. I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
Say that, Swaxx.
I'm an exercise science major, so of course I look at things that I eat. I like to work out, so my perspective is skewed. So,
no, I think it goes down to like, again, the value system. Yeah. Like some people are valuing money, and since being healthy and eating good costs more money, so if you don't have a lot of money, right, it's easier to go to McDonald's or go to Popeyes or go eat fast food, period, than it is to go buy food and cook it. It takes more time to cook food. So it's like, it's kind of like people got to start learning the true effects of some of this stuff so they know why they have to take the time and why they have to sacrifice certain money for certain things. Like when you sacrifice to eat and take the time to cook at home, then you should know all the health stuff that you're probably saving yourself too. Because it's expensive to eat healthy, but it's expensive to be sick.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So it's more expensive to be sick. So if
testify,
if you could take the time and break it down, and kind of get to weigh your options instead of, and some of it is how we think about it and how we look at it. Like you guys were talking earlier about saving, like he was telling a story about his daughter saving. Like it's great, it's beautiful, I love it. It's my niece, but like I'm terrible at saving. Like personally, like for real. So like one of the things I had to do was just decide what I wanted to put money into more, because it's like money be trying to burn a hole in my pocket. So like
there you go.
I had to
at
start
least
deciding,
you know your weakness.
Yeah, I had to start deciding. Okay, what do I want to? Instead of like wondering where my money went, started to budget so I could tell my money where I wanted to go, and that kind of helped me more than saying like, "We'll save for just some random day." It was like, okay, not save. I'm going ahead. I want to go ahead and build a dividend income, or I want to build another passive stream of income, or I want to use this as a penny bank to save up for my house.
Shit, I call that saving.
Yeah. It was like I look at it like spending because I don't have the money right now, and I don't see when I'm gonna be able to get the benefit of having it. I think it's like that thing of giving out something and not getting something back. I think that's the main thing other people like with that T-shirts. Because when they give out that $30, they got a T-shirt in their hands. Like when they give out
to show for it, right?
Yeah. And it was like when you start buying a house, or you're trying to start a business, or you're trying to build up an idea, it's not something you can hold in your hand.
Right.
You know, And that's sometimes why some people around you don't appreciate it. Like you guys are artists, right? You could come up with a song or a concept, and other people around you, they don't see it, they don't feel it, they don't appreciate it, right? Meanwhile, it's your baby. It's like a real thing to you. So, and that's, the part where it's mental.
So what do you feel like? I think this is important because you have experience in finances and working in a bank. I know for me, and maybe you guys can attest to it too, and maybe when you first started, what were some of the things or some of the accounts? Like, so like I just realized in 2019, like there are a lot of different accounts, quote unquote. Like niggas know, like I got a checking account, I got a savings account, and that's it. Right? That's how I thought. I was like, yeah, nigga, if you ain't spending it right now, you put it in savings. You made savings, you put it in your checking. And then I started learning about like investment accounts and like how they're like IRAs and like 401ks and what is a 401k. And that your job, pays you for, however you want to look at it, whatever your job offers. And then like online high yield savings account that like match inflation rates and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And like that delved me into it. And I'm like, where did you guys, or what do you feel like is a place that maybe people can get the resources or, maybe some recommendations on like a first starter account or something that, like,
absolutely.
Can kind of take a, action.
Everybody over 18 should have an IRA. A 401k and an IRA are the same. 401k is just usually provided through your job. So when you get your job will give you a 401k. If you ever move and leave that job, when you take that 401k with you, it turns into an IRA. An IRA just means it's individual. So, for example, I have an IRA. I don't have my original 401k. I've worked at several other places since I was 23. So, I have an IRA. And as I move to different jobs, those jobs I pay and I funnel into the IRA. I also have a Roth IRA, which is after tax. So, your IRA is mainly made up of pre-tax money coming out of your check. So, you get your check every week. You can decide how much you want to defer into your balance before the government takes taxes out. So the government allows, it's called a 402G limit. The government allows about $19,500 to be invested every year pre-tax. So as a point of starter for everybody, if you want to look at investing or get started investing, first thing you should do is take advantage of your 401k or your IRA. So it doesn't make sense to not invest in your company's 401k and take your whole check home and then put it in Robinhood.
Because they usually match you to some degree, right?
Exactly. Your company will match you.
Dollars, they'll match you.
Right? You'll get vested with the match, and then again you get it pre-tax. So that lowers your annual income and lowers your tax liability for the following year. And it's a gimme from the government. So one of the positions I do now, most of the business owners that we represent in my current job, they max that 19.5 limit out. Like if they're having a good year, it's the first thing they do is match it out for themselves and their wife. It's the first thing they do. And then everything else is the Roth and the insurance, treasury, reinvesting in a business, buying another property. But all of that's second to after maxing out that pre-tax limit. Okay. The government's going to let you put $19,000 away every year without taxing it. It's the first thing you should do.
Okay. So if you don't have a 401k, then you said do the IRA, right?
You should start an IRA. You could go to Vanguard's website and start an IRA there. Vanguard, not even just Vanguard, any one of your bank. If you bank anywhere you bank, your bank probably offers an IRA. And you could go to them. Another smart thing you could probably do to save yourself time, if you're ever looking to buy a car, don't go to a car dealership looking for money. It's one other thing that black people do that annoys me. You go to car dealerships, car dealers sell cars. They're not good at making money, and any money that they find you to buy the car they got there, they're charging a finder fee. It's called dealer track. So the dealer have a software, and it goes out, takes your social security and your date of birth, and it goes out to all the banks, and it finds you a car loan for the car that you're trying to get. You could do it the other way around. Almost everybody has a bank account nowadays. You could go straight to your bank, get pre-approved for a car loan. You get decide if you want to buy a new car or a used car. Decide the money amount. They'll give you your payment. They'll give you the dollar amount right there. Some cases they'll give you up to $60,000 check and tell you, well, if you spend $30,000, it's going to cost you $439 a month. If you spend $35,000, it's going to cost you $489 a month. Oh, shit. And you have your money when you go in the door. So now you could talk to the car dealer about the car you want, and let them stay out of your pockets and talk about finding. Like most of these car dealers, Most of these car dealers don't know anything about any fucking money. That's why almost everybody buys their car and they're happy for the first 30 days, and then when you got to pay your car note, you're like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Right.
I still say that.
Yeah, and it's because you like a car salesman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do your finances, so you don't have to do that, and it helps you buy a car cheaper. So you get your finances before you go in the door. You know, you can get a pre-approved check straight from your bank before you go in there. You could go do it all online. You get pre-approved. The bank actually asks you which branch you want to have your check printed out to. And you go straight bank, show your driver's license, pick up your check. Then you go to the dealership and look for your car. And then now you don't have to spend that time, you know, let's get the application.
Trash.
Right.
Actually, what you'll find out is they'll say, well, let's see the check first. They'll try to, you know, call your bluff and think you don't have the check. And the second thing they'll ask you is, well, let's see if our guys can beat your number. And almost always they can. Just because they're trying to, again, get their little percentage point.
That's some gold nuggets. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but when I decide to turn on the radio in the car, what it is? Get your ass down here to Roosevelt Boulevard. Whatever. Whatever. Mitsubishi on Roosevelt Bully or some shit. Or whatever. And, you know, we zero down. Bad credit, no credit. It don't matter. We gonna get you in a new Kia.
Gary Barbera?
Yeah, Gary Barbera's the best. Boy, I guess. That's crazy. Fuck you, Gary Barbera. That's crazy. I never bought a car from you.
Show us that you make money, we'll get you a car.
Yeah.
But yeah, because, you know, black people love to buy shit. And cars are usually one of those shits. Yeah, some great fucking game. Definitely appreciate that nugget. I'm just like, all right, I'm glad I didn't grab a car recently, newly.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy because in 2020 they said the average car note is about $525. So that means people are buying cars they can't afford and spending too much money on them.
Mine's below
Fucking
that.
riding a bicycle everywhere,
Mine's below
cuz
that.
I don't know, my quadriceps would be
A
huge.
lot below that.
That is
Below the average.
and it's debt. But if you can, you know, everybody. But if you don't buy a car, you can also look at buying a house. At least houses acquire, you know, wealth with time.
Yeah.
And I guess the biggest thing about this day and age is almost everything can be monetized. So just like that car with that $500 car note, someone is using it for Uber or DoorDash or
I did that for a little bit.
Instacart.
That's true.
You know, or they're renting it out on Turo.
That is also true. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
You know, they're
Take your car
monetizing
into
the
an
car.
asset.
Bro,
Shit.
because I feel the pain.
Of driving all fucking day to do that shit.
Nah, because of my
Taxes and
fucking car note.
Oh, your car note.
Yeah.
Because you forget that I had a night.
Let
You
my car
forget
make
that
me
I
2
had
racks a
the.
month.
You forget that I had the.
I'll give me a
You had a
hoodie.
Camry,
The
right?
Camry, and that wasn't even fully paid off. But since
Yeah.
I had
Crazy.
kids,
Yep.
Fuck that.
had to get the truck.
Yeah,
Make it all back.
That's funny. Because you said kids, right? So obviously a lot of, you know, our population, we have children, right? You know, that's a whole other topic for another discussion about, you know, the household and all that. But how can you set your child up to be on the best platform? Because we talk about legacy, we talk about passion and shit. So in the same regard you gave person about 401k, the gold nugget for the car, what about someone, you know, a family that has children? How can they get their best footing for them? Like set them up for the long term?
I mean, I can answer that. Get the
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Start first of all. One thing that we did was we got my daughter a stockpile account. We created like a nice little investing account.
Okay.
And one thing that I'm going to start doing is, and I told my daughter this. One thing I'm personally going to do is like I'm still going to get my daughter stuff for her birthday and for Christmas and stuff, but majority of what I'm spending on her is going to be invested into her. You know, so that's one little behavioral change that I'm making because, you know, I'll go out and I'll spend $300-400 on some gifts, you know, minimum. You know what I mean? Now I must take that same money that I anticipated on spending on something physical and putting it into her future. And I told her, like, I love my daughter to death, but I'd rather you be mad at 9 than struggling at 18.
Ooh.
So,
she'll get over it. She not. She
Talk
and in 10-15 minutes, she'll be change her mind.
right. So, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Because I'm at an age now where I understand that, you know, when you first hear the lesson, you don't understand it until years later.
Preach,
And
brother.
This nigga. Love it.
You know what I mean? So it's like I said in the beginning, like when we started in the beginning, like she'll be mad that I didn't give her, you know, this LOL doll, I mean, she's probably still gonna get it. She's spoiled, but but like, if it came down to my last $20, I'm putting that $20 into a stock. I'm not putting that $20 onto some LOL doll. She can be mad at 9. She's gonna reap the benefit when she's older.
Spit that game.
And not just stocks. Like you can open up a custodial IRA account.
Okay.
Most people don't know you can put 5, 6, 10,000 into an IRA account. Just let the dividends be automatically reinvested, and that could grow for your kid. Same thing like as a stock account. People should learn about ETFs, electronically traded funds. You don't have to know about stocks. You don't have to monitor them. You don't have to keep up with it. You don't have to watch it. You can make real general bets like the S&P 500. Just bank on the top 500 companies on the American stock market. You just bet on a straight real estate investment fund. ETFs are all sorted, spreads out all the risk, but they earn dividends and they typically grow with time, and they keep up with inflation. Most people can start an account like that for their child. They're called custodial accounts. You can start custodial brokerage accounts, allow you to buy and trade stocks. You can start custodial retirement accounts like IRAs. You can start both of those for your children as soon as they're born. I have a young niece that had a baby girl that literally the day of her birthday is the first day I started her custodial brokerage account. She was probably about 6 hours old.
It's fucking crazy.
You got that social?
Hey,
literally how we do.
I feel like some of the things that, because the previous episode, actually Tracy alluded to some of the resources that we have that not everybody has. We had talked about some of the things that were missing, but he had called you out specifically and said maybe black youth and millennials don't have an Uncle Lenny like I do to have that resource, right? So just
give
me some acknowledgement, but because like that resource, like that's priceless, man. Because you can literally change the entire life of that human based on your knowledge and what you're willing to give and what you did.
But that's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all going to take this episode and not just watch it for your own benefit, but show this to your family members. You know what I mean? My uncle right here, he dropped some gems. It's not just for you. It's for everybody. Everybody can benefit off of this. We've been playing the short game for far too long. It's time to put our money where we want our families to be in the future. So definitely, if you're listening, share this with somebody, because there's a lot of gems in here, and we all want everybody to grow in the direction of where they want to be. But you got to make that effort. You got to share this.
It's all about the action, baby. You got to take the step. There's one other thing that I'm going to mention. It's not related to stocks, but this is something that I realized
Bitcoin.
We can get there.
Yeah.
We can get there. Hey, listen, because this is flowing. The other thing that I realized in 2019, and you touched on it when you said that I really just lost my fucking train of thought. That's crazy. That doesn't matter. Boom, I know what I'm talking about. I just want to tie it into some shit. But credit cards. Right? Yeah. The biggest lie we talked about, the myth. It was a myth. I got in my ear about how fucking horrible credit cards were, and credit card debt'll fuck you up and it will linger over you forever. I fucking decided to pick up a book, read some shit, opened up 2 credit cards account. My fucking credit score went through the roof. I can buy everything. Nobody questions me about wanting to get not a million, but a lot of money out of the bank, right? It makes life easier. I'm not open to a lot of other opportunities. And I know that was one of the other things that somebody can start at a certain age when you're young, because my uncle put me on his credit card as like a secondary person,
authorized
user.
That's
what it was. When I was like 12 or some shit. And when I went to apply for this credit card in 2019, they do a little fucking, credit, whatever, one of the 3 things that fucking do your credit background or whatever. It showed me my report, and it's like, yeah, you have 18 years of credit history. I said, from when? And I was like, oh shit. Like, that helped substantially in the credit card acquisition. I was like, yo, that was a fucking good ass look.
Yes.
And the reason I said it is because people I didn't know this, like what actually goes into your credit score. And 35% of your payment history, 30% of your amount owed, right? It's like how much you owe, how much credit is available, right? So utilization rate. 15% is the length of history in your credit score. Everything's about credit score. 15% of my credit score was just because my uncle decided to make me an authorized user when I was 12 years old. That's fucking crazy. That's why I brought that up as a credit card and then the myth.
And I think that's another good idea. Well, first off, it's got to be if you're going to pay the credit card. There's no point in putting your kid as an authorized user on your card and you're not going to pay it.
And ruin their shit.
But but that is another way. And another way to help build your credit. If you're looking to build your credit, you're looking for a hack to kind of cut around the corner, is find someone that has good credits, find someone that has the amount and the score that you're looking for, and find a way to leverage their credit. Ask them, even if you need be, pay them. Let them get you on as an authorized signer on their card. That'll help build up your credit history, to help expand your credit utilization, and help you reach your credit goals a little quicker.
That's crazy. That shit, literally, when I read that shit really fucked with me. I'm like, yo.
Most credit most credit cards can have up to like 10 authorized users on it.
That's crazy.
So, like, I even heard one guy, he had
Responsible, nigga.
Yeah, there was one guy that's out there that's out there that he actually got his credit score up to about 750, and what he started to do was he actually started to sell time on his credit cards as an authorized user. And he was charging people $250 a month because he had great credit, and it was bumping their credit. So it's like getting your credit together and getting your credit card with a high limit, and you can also leverage that and monetize that.
Hey, yo, bro,
if you get, if you start using your imagination.
Dude, that's crazy. And the thing that was always,
using
I think
imagination.
you gotta look into what these taught behaviors are based on, what the premises are. It was that credit cards are bad. Credit cards fuck up your credit history or credit score. That means you can't get a fucking house, because everything was about getting a house and like fucking buying and owning a house back in the day. When in reality, it's because that's the behavior that either they learned or what they reinforced, versus looking at some alternatives, which are get a credit card but don't change your spending habits. Just cycle it through.
I want to ask y'all opinion. Like, what's the track record from they? Like, have you ever noticed, like, they, like they be saying, and they always, like, they be wrong than the motherfucker.
I appreciate that.
Like, as the older you get, you be like, they ain't know what the fuck they was talking about. I thought they said this, and then you find out it's that. You know what I mean? They said zig, and you find out you're supposed to zag. Like, they just be setting you up.
Nobody knows.
Setting you up.
Learn it for yourself. Nobody knows.
Exactly. But I mean, I just say that to say is the beauty of like being able to start your child young, set them up, create good habits, and still good habits. Because I know how much I changed. 2019 was my year for like finances, man. This was huge, and that's just something I feel like if it's teachable, you can learn it. It's out there. It's grasp wise, but maybe not always be taught in house. Right? Something like you may have to be the one that breaks the old cycle and starts the new one. Right, huge responsibility. But yeah, man, looking at fucking credit cards. Make sure y'all spend y'all shit. If you gonna spend $1,000 a month regardless, why can't you just spend $1,000 a month but put them on your credit card to boost your credit score? Maybe you get perks like travel points or cash back, or 15% on the shit you were gonna buy. Like maybe you get 50% on Apple because you love Apple so much. You get 15% off or whatever. But yeah, let's talk about Bitcoin though, because I know y'all niggas love Bitcoin. You Uncle Bitcoin. Tracy talks about Bitcoin all the fucking time when you're not around. And by the way, if you don't know what Bitcoin is, shame on you. And if you do know what Bitcoin is, it sucks that you didn't know what it was like 10 fucking years ago.
10 years ago. Exactly.
And I'm one of those people. You gotta eat that shit. But yeah, so how did you even get into that? I heard you were like the person that was like talking and expressing knowledge.
Can I add on top of that?
Yeah.
'Cause explain to the viewers what's the difference. Just explain to the viewers what the difference is between cryptocurrency versus fiat currency.
Shit, explain to me, like the viewers.
Okay. Okay. So fiat currency is the technical name for the money system we have now and most of the world has. It's a money system like dollars or the British pounds or Japanese yen, right? Federal Reserve prints them up, they make them, they print them, the $100 bill, the dollar bills that we all know. They print them, they control the money supply, right? Like you guys were saying, money's fake, it's all fabricated, it is, right? Like Survivor with Tom Hanks, he had $1 million.
Facade.
He would use it for firewood. He would use it for fire. And it's because it has no intrinsic value. It has no value in it. It's just paper. Like they always say, money doesn't grow on trees, but actually, it does. They cut them down and they make paper and they print it out. So
paper, they print it out.
Yeah. So like it does. Yeah, it's just like and for our money, we got one special place that makes this special paper, and it's like I think it's like down in Kentucky, and they're like the only ones that make our paper for the last 140 years. But Yeah, that's the one. That's how they keep us away from.
My money come from Kentucky?
counterfeiting.
No wonder it ain't shit.
No, just the paper.
Wow.
Just the paper. Like they guard the paper like crazy. But so that's where our fiat money system comes from. That's what makes it fiat. So whenever, like right now, with our economy was hurting with Corona last year, production went down. People were hurting because they weren't working, they weren't making money, they needed money. So we put more money into the economy. The Federal Reserve created more money, right? We didn't create more goods. We didn't create more service. Actually, it was less goods and less service. But the Fed created more money. So what that does is make the price of goods and service go up. Like we've seen the price of, we've seen all the food prices go up. We've seen all the gas prices go up. We've seen all the grocery prices go up. So cryptocurrencies are digital currencies. They're made up on the internet. They're made up by algorithms, peoples, groups, all over the internet. So Bitcoin is different. I know you're like, where the fuck we going with this? Bitcoin is different though.
You good.
He just high.
Yeah, I'm just high.
Bitcoin's different.
bro.
It is.
Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, and it's different, and it's better than all the other coins.
It's different and it's better, so we got $55,000 to give you Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, for starters, a lot of people are running away from it because it's $50,000. Bitcoin isn't over. Bitcoin will be $1 million by 2030.
Why would it be though? Why? Like
Because
explain the
Bitcoin is
science behind
scarce.
it.
The supply of Bitcoin is finite, and just like I was explaining with fiat money, that supply is not finite. It will change every year. Next year we will raise the debt ceiling. They'll have to print more money and put it in the economy. The year after, they're going to have another. Something else is going to happen in the economy, and people are going to want another stimulus. They're going to print more money and put it in the economy.
So,
Bitcoin, that can't happen. There's 21 million Bitcoins. So in that case, Bitcoin is just as finite as the state of Pennsylvania. Like, they're not making a new state of Pennsylvania. They're not making a new house on this block. That's why no matter how much money they put in the economy, this house will rise in value, right? Because this house is scarce, and our dollars are not scarce.
I see.
So as the dollars increase, the scarce items increase in value. Like you see, wealthy people always like Jay-Z was talking about buying art, right? Buying art. The reason why art is a good investment for rich people is because it appreciates in value. And every time you hear about the Mona Lisa being sold, it's being sold for a record number.
Right.
Because the money supply is constantly increasing. So it might be worth $1 billion a day, but in 10 years it'll be worth $2 billion.
Artwork.
Well, artwork,
Things
houses,
that appreciate
things
with
are
value.
things that are valuable and scarce. Like it can't just be valuable; it has to be scarce.
Okay.
I mean, like Lexuses are valuable; they're not scarce. You know, but
Dumb
now,
motherfuckers.
you know, and Mustangs. Yeah. It has to be like a combination. So like with crypto, that's what happens with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, there's only 21 million Bitcoins, so it's going to constantly appreciate against fiat.
Okay.
And once they get the, huh?
Talk about NFTs to the people.
Oh, what the,
NFTs, bro.
Why did
Let's
the
go.
smoke come
Come
out?
on.
Like,
What
right when I
about
blew it.
And
Nah,
I ate it in there.
what's NFT?
non-fungible
Nah,
tokens?
I don't like getting into them because it's, I mean, they're a good medium of exchange, and you have platforms that are creating them and creating them for mediums of exchange. Again, I don't trust, okay, here goes my problem with fiat money. It relies on trust in government and trust in people. My nephew and all of them will tell you, I'm not good at trust. Like, that's my weakness. So I don't like trusting governments, and I don't like trusting people. And that's why we have problems with our banks.
Bad at
Banks
saving,
are the
can't
people.
trust.
Yeah, it's for real. And I got trust issues. I do. So I got trust issues with our government. Our government IRS can decide you made too much money 10 years ago, and they can take it right out of your account. And I don't think that's fair. I would like the ability to be able to resist that. And Bitcoin offers the ability to resist the government censorship. Like the IRS can't take it, the government can't take it. You have no way of taking it, and that's really the true threat in it. And some of these NFTs and some of these other coins, their popularity is tied to government adoption or government approval. And I don't necessarily think we need government. Bitcoin is done very well without government approval. So something like, for example, XRP is
I
another
was gonna
cryptocurrency.
ask you about other cryptos, yeah.
Ripple, and all the banks, Santander, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, man, all the banks say they love XRP.
Oh, shit.
They like XRP. They want people to adopt XRP. Even the government said that they could see one day that you could be able to pay taxes with XRP. I don't invest in XRP because there are literally 5 billion XRP.
5 billion,
Yes.
which is a lot. It's the shit ton.
I got one
Okay.
over here.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and the fact that Wells Fargo likes it doesn't. Like, I worked in finance, so like most people need to understand that like not everybody has the same goals. Like you and your bank don't have the same goals. Like you and your bank don't have the same ends. So a lot of people think, well, my bank likes XRP, so I'll invest in XRP because my bank likes it. Well, your bank likes XRP because it can take it and tax it. That's why they like XRP. They don't make any money on transaction fees for Bitcoin. That's why they don't like Bitcoin. They can charge transaction fees for XRP, so that's why they like it. And that's what it is. So like for example, all the money you have in your bank is a liability for your bank. It's your asset, but to the bank it's a liability. Your car loan or your house loan, your debt, that's an asset to the bank.
Oh, okay.
But the cash in your bank account is a liability to the bank. So the bank has, you and the bank don't, you want to have less loans and more cash in the bank. And your bank wants you to have more loans and less cash. So y'all don't have the same goals. So I don't know why you're going to make investment decisions based on what they think is good.
All right, take a moment, let that shit sink. The fuck in. I ain't expect to get all this. I mean, I knew Uncle Bitcoin, aka Lenny.
Shit,
was,
we all gonna be watching this episode,
yeah,
taking notes.
definitely. I'm gonna go back. If I'm gonna go back and take notes, y'all motherfuckers better go back and take notes because I knew this man for longer than y'all did, and I'm about to go back and take some fucking notes. Man, y'all got anything else? 'Cause that was a lot. I'm like, this episode gonna be 6 hours long.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to break this one up, but a value of gold, of fucking gems, man.
Speaking of gold, go rock my man song, man. Gold change. You know what I'm saying? Go
Oh,
stream
you
that
ain't
shit.
had to do that. I'm, little old
out there,
me.
gold change.
But yeah, that shit is fire. That shit is fire. That shit is fire. Of course, we always like to do in-house acknowledgments too.
Yes,
My man got here
thank
with
you.
music, staying consistent with it. That's the big thing, right? Take the action, be consistent with
Yes,
it.
definitely.
And change your life, bruh. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Same thing
better.
in President Press.
Yes,
So
sir.
y'all in the game. And Lenny, where can they find you? I know you like cool.
Yeah, I'm at Uncle Bitcoins on IG. And,
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke. Uncle Bitcoin
No,
on
it
IG,
literally
make
was
sure-
a joke. Because I was talking about Bitcoins back in 2014 when it was like $900, $1,000.
Yes.
So all my friends was telling me that I was crazy. I didn't know what I was talking about.
Are
I
you still
didn't.
friends?
Yeah, no, they're still friends. I keep them around to make sure I can remind them. Make sure I can stun on them. So yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I decided to make a moniker. Make the bricks they throw at you. Build with them. Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Talk. That's
To the
a
last
bar.
one. To the outro.
Yeah.
He's gonna steal that.
Yes, I am.
But yo,
You go here.
this episode could have went about another hour easily. So we know we're gonna have a part 2. I'm already excited for a part 2 because clearly there's a lot of gems we get to give y'all. We touched on the surface of what we was even gonna talk about. This was definitely the most gem worthy and most time spent worthy. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You already know, holding the left side, we got President Press, aka the Intellect. We got my man Lenny, aka
Thanks
Uncle
for having
Bitcoin.
me.
Follow him. Appreciate y'all coming on the show, man. I really feel like we just fucking y'all just you
just gonna leave me out like
Blah.
that?
No, I'm not done.
You
I'm not
gonna-
done. I'm not done. I'm not done. You just spewed it out. Just gave you all the good stuff, man. I really appreciate that. And of course, we got Ego, aka the Raw. Shout out. Watch his new episode. Well, actually, you got a new. Is it? Okay, I ain't gonna tell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Dial in. Go
Dial
change,
in.
stream his shit. Cameraman, CJ, the specialist, you already know. Evan, the voice, Swaxx. Man, I'm excited, boy, because guess what? You just got the real. Peace.